I rise to speak to the two amendments in my name in this group, which are 168 and 170. In doing so, could I start by saying that the Noble Baroness, the Minister, at the end of the last group, expressed a little surprise, gratified surprise, that I thought the ambition of trying to end vaping by children was a laudable one. I'm disappointed that she was surprised by that, because I'd hoped that I'd made it clear from the outset of my participation in this bill that I entirely understand the government's wish, and I support the government's wish, to do everything possible to prevent the uptake of vaping and other nicotine products by children. My remarks were entirely about adults, as they are here. I have a question also, if I may. I don't wish to be impertinent. The Noble Baroness Lady Northover has just spoken, because she speaks of the vape industry as if it was a monolithic thing. I think there are several different parts, if you like, characterizations of the vape industry. But the key ones are that some of the vape industry is the work of what I would call respectable companies, accountable companies, that are based in the UK and in similar countries, and who conduct their affairs in one way. And then the huge flood of vapes that have entered the market without proper regulation or control, very often produced by Chinese companies, I understand, though I don't know if that. Please stop pointing at this piece of paper that nobody can actually see. Even if you were allowed to see it, if we were allowed to see it, we can't read it at that distance. It's blue. There's something wicked about blue. The distinction between the one and the other, because the truth is that, of course, it is the respectable companies that will comply with the law, as they do with the law on smoking advertising. And it is the disreputable ones that will find ways of getting round it, as so many of them currently do. But if I may return to the two amendments in my name, 168 addresses clause 119, which, as I mentioned in the last group, is the clause which contains certain defences that can be used by those charged with offences laid out in the previous clauses, such as distributing or designing or whatever advertising. And what I am proposing is that there be added to it an additional defence, which is that it is in relation to the advertising of vaping products or nicotine products in a location which would be reasonable to expect that everyone present is aged 18. This is an attempt to try and fit in with what the Noble Baroness, the Minister, said earlier about what the aim of the bill is, which is that we're meant to be dealing with trying to address people, young people, and I agree we're trying to address young people, and help them help ensure that they are not induced into taking up vaping and other nicotine-based products. Amendment 170 creates an exemption not by amending clause 119, but by adding a new clause. Creates an exemption for a specialist vaping retailer making communications online in an age-verified environment. Now, we have robust age verification nowadays as a result of the Online Safety Act. And there are many sites, I believe, which if you attempt to access them, you will be required to verify your age. That is what Ofcom has increasingly rolled out under the provisions of that Act. And so it is perfectly possible to have age-verified sites and to ensure that people can only access them if they can demonstrate that they're above a certain age. And that is what this is trying to do. It is trying to create some sort of balance for those those adults, those above the age of 18, who wish to have access to information about vaping, but in a way that ensures it doesn't get to children. I really, on the basis of what the Noble Baroness has said is her purpose, cannot see how she should object to this. So I hope that Amendment 170 and possibly even 168 might find favour with her.